friends got quite the surprise when both had news of their wives. My baby is due the same time as you. How the do we keep them alive? This is Dude, We're Dads.
Did you know that we are 1 month away from the due date? Exactly today.
That's scary.
Actually, you're less.
Potentially. Yeah.
1 month. Grace texted me that today, and I was sitting there looking at my phone like, holy f***.
That's about as real as it gets.
Yeah.
A month away from fatherhood.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be good. It'll be great. The birth itself is terrifying me. Like, it's not a month till I'm a father. It's a month until I have to watch my wife go through that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited about the thing on the other end, but I can't get my brain around the pregnant birthing thing.
Well, it's scary because when I ask Grace, I'm like, what's going through your head? Like, are you excited? We have 1 month. And she's just like, I'm terrified.
That's fair.
But at the same time, she's strong. So I'm like, okay, she's going to get through it.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I'm not the one pushing it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to remember that, like, this is how every single human enters the world through the womb. And so, yeah, it's like a common thing. It's scary, but everybody does it.
Yeah.
Anybody that's capable.
Yeah.
I'm not capable. The more I think about us doing an episode during the birth, the less feasible it seems.
Hey, give us 1 minute. 1 minute. Hey, we just need an hour.
Hey,
can you postpone
can you
labor for an
stop
hour?
crying for a minute, please? Let's stop with the breathing exercises. I need clear audio.
Yeah, no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But it is terrifying. Grace goes in for her, I think it's the pre-planning with the hospital.
Tell me about that.
Oh, sorry, pre-register. I think it's 3 weeks before your actual birth.
Okay.
And so she has to go do that.
You have to, like, schedule a thing, like, hey, I'm about to come in?
I think it's you give them your paperwork and your blood type. Oh, I don't know. That's completely false. I have no idea what it is.
That's okay.
But it's a bunch of registration for the hospital.
Okay. Good to know.
We have to do that. Then we have an ultrasound next week.
Oh, okay.
It's our last one.
Is it really?
Yeah. And they scheduled it early. They're like, doctor was like, I guess Grace went on Monday, and he was like, oh, you could be due next week. And Grace texted me that, or she called me and told me that. I was like, what the f***?
It's too soon.
I was like, you told us we had 4 weeks.
I need more time.
Yeah. So we're on, like, high alert.
Yeah, any minute now, it feels like.
Legitimately, Grace could start going into labor right now.
It's going to last forever while it's happening, and then it'll be over in an instant.
Yeah.
Do you think Grace is going to miss being pregnant in any way?
No.
Really?
She is miserable right now. Like, miserable.
Is it the pukiness? Is it the aches?
She's not nauseous. It's like, you know how their abs separate?
No.
So when they're pregnant, when their stomach starts getting bigger, their abs separate.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so she's feeling, obviously, that tension, and so it hurts.
Yeah.
On top of that, like, the other night we were sitting there watching TV, and the baby, you could legitimately see the baby move like this.
Yeah.
But it moved super far to the right, and I don't know what it hit in her body, but she was like screeching in pain. She goes, what the f*** just happened? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, she complains about him being in her ribs a lot.
Yeah.
Like grabbing onto the ribs.
But so our daughter is turned.
Right.
So like she's in
birthing position.
She's not fully dropped yet.
Right. So butt is up, head is down.
Butt is up, head is down, but the doctor said that she's not fully into your pelvis yet, which is a good thing.
That's great.
But
you got time.
But that could be any minute.
Has Grace ever done the thing where she leans back?
Yeah. And you can see it.
I don't like it when she does that.
Heck no.
That scares me. I'm like, you're crushing the child. It's about to pop out. It's gross.
And it's like you're crushing the baby.
Yeah. That's my child. Quit abusing my child.
That's cool, though. It's weird, though, when like Grace told me she woke up to go use the restroom or something at nighttime, and she said she could see the baby's foot or something poking out. Whether it's a hand or I'm assuming it's a foot if she's upside down.
Yeah, we play a song or two before we go to bed, and I put the phone on her belly, and you can watch the phone wobble.
Oh, my gosh.
Because he's kicking. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. He's very responsive to my voice. I know we're going to be homies.
Maybe.
But, you going to cuss? You going to cuss around your child?
Absolutely not.
Like at all?
No.
Okay. Wait, all right, why?
I was raised that way. I talked to my dad about it.
Yeah.
Because we, like, my cousins and stuff, cousins, uncles, like, whenever we go to Ohio, like, I remember them specifically, like, they have sailor mouths.
Yeah.
And I cuss all the time, too.
Yes.
Or swear. But my dad was like, yeah, when you guys were kids, they would do that all the time. And I was like, I'm talking my dad's perspective, but he'd get pissed. He's like, there's a 4-year-old walking around. Why are you talking like that?
Mm.
And so I'm like, okay, I honestly respect that.
Is the fear that kid is going to take those naughty words and do it at school and get in trouble? Just look at his teacher and be like, F you.
I think it's just a respect thing.
Yeah?
I feel like kids shouldn't talk like that. I feel like this generation, though, is a little bit different. They're exposed to it on TV, on their phones, whatever the case is. And so I'm going to be stern about that type of stuff.
Okay.
Grace is like, I'm going to teach our kid to give the middle finger. I'm like, no, you're not.
Hell yeah.
No, you are not. But, when you're in 5th grade and stuff, our childhood was there. I used to, like, cuss and stuff all the time or swear and stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But in front of my parents and my sister, I was like,
Yeah, I'm that same way. Where, like, to this day, I maintain the illusion with my family that I don't say bad words. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Is there a barometer for what is a cuss word? Like crap.
No.
Can your kids say crap?
Yeah.
What about butt?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So my wife is totally okay with butt. Crap will not be said. Because growing up, her parents would be furious if you said crap. They do not like the mention of butt things, like things coming out of butts, and crap comes out of butts, so you can't say it.
My parents hated when I said frick.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, as a kid, you're just like, that's not even a bad word.
Yeah. Yeah, my family says freaking.
Yeah, that too.
I had it reversed from the wife's family. Like, I could say crap, but I could not say butt.
I remember that.
Couldn't say it.
I remember that.
You'd have to watch your mouth when you were in my house.
Your parents probably did not like me. I'm looking back.
You were a wild little dude.
I wasn't even that wild.
Not compared to the rest of our buddies, but...
I haven't seen your parents.
But everybody's wild compared to me in
I
my
haven't even
youth.
seen them since... I want to say, like, we went to your house to film Tender Jedi 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the last time I saw your parents.
So it's at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Remember when?
It's a long time ago.
I think I don't actually yet know how I'm going to deal with cussing around the little one, but I feel like if I do allow cussing or a certain amount of cussing, there's going to be a distinction where, like, you can't cuss in anger. Like, you can cuss for effect, like a bit, but you can't, like your emotion. I think so. I think, like, that I try to live by that now. Like, if I'm cursing in anger, like, especially if I'm around the wife and we're arguing and I curse, that's out of bounds, homie. But if I do something hilarious and I drop an F-bomb, it's great. It enhances it, And so I'm curious if that's the line where, like, if he's got a rockin' bit and it demands, one of the bombs, then maybe he gets it in there. But we'll see. We'll see. I think he shouldn't do it around other kids, obviously.
Yeah, but how would you control that, though?
Trust.
Yeah, but is there trust there?
I don't know yet. I haven't even seen this dude. He might be shady as hell. I don't know if I can trust him. Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know. When I grew up, I grew up in Alabama a lot too. So, like, yes sir, yes ma'am was, like, huge.
Okay.
My parents didn't, like, force me to say it every time, but like, you kind of catch on. And so I knew not to swear. Like, that's like a huge
Here's what I'm scared of, though. Like, there's the kid that cusses at school and then the other parents get mad. And then there's the kid that's like, you shouldn't say bad words. And that's much worse. That kid. That was me. You should say the bad words. Oh, my God. If that is my child, then I will cuss at him. So there's a range, You don't want him to be a potty mouth, but you also don't want to be that kid in class,
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think I'm just gonna teach them to be respectful.
How you gonna do that if you can't trust a mofo? You know what I'm saying?
I think he'll learn it.
So, in establishing trust and respect, what's this? You got silent, or can you,
It is silent.
Can the vibrations turn off?
Oh man, I got the old iPhone.
What iPhone do you have?
The 11.
Ew! What the hell? Aren't we on like the 16th? We're on the 16th.
Yeah, they're about to release the 16th.
Damn, I'm surprised that thing's still running.
Me too.
I'm impressed. All right, I didn't know. My apologies. I wouldn't have said no.
No, but what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
I lost it.
What about discipline? So this kid does say a naughty word that you don't approve of to his teacher.
Oh.
What's the discipline look like? Are you a spanking parent?
I feel like to an extent.
Yeah.
Like my mom would. I remember this like vividly. I remember one thing vividly is I don't know what I did wrong. I can't remember the situation, but me and my sister were upstairs and I heard my mom yell, and I can't remember what we did, but I heard her coming up the stairs and she had a wooden spoon.
Oh,
and so she would hit us with that, like tap us on the butt with that. I think this like spanking your kid is completely fine.
Yeah.
Not beating your kid, but like tapping them on the butt, like that taught me not to do bad shit.
Is there like, did she ever explain, is there some distinction between like a hand hitting a butt and a spoon hitting a butt?
No, she just always grabbed the wood
spoon. She just liked the spoon?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there where like it separates like the punishment from the person giving the punishment. Like instead of my hand doing it, it's a wooden object, you know, but also maybe.
My parents were never the type to like, come here, sit on my lap and then spank me. No, that didn't happen.
What, she chase you around the room or?
No, she chased me with that thing.
I feel like that's worse. You gotta run.
Yeah, but it taught me not to do it again.
Andrew Scott.
I don't know. There wasn't a lot of it.
My dad was a spanker. I don't think he ever did it like crazy, but I think it was the buildup. You know, like I do something wrong, and then dad's at work, and then my mom is like, when dad gets home, he is going to beat you. You know, like not that verbiage, but it's like there's this impending thing that's coming. And that span of time was way worse than the impact.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
You're just waiting there to be murdered.
But that's what teaches you to not do that again. That's where the respect comes in. You kind of earn that respect.
Out of fear.
I don't know. I'll probably communicate better.
Is that it? Like, oh, you know what? Aside from the sponkins, there weren't many of them. I remember when I did something bad, my dad would make me lean up against a wall in a crouch position, like a seated position. He had me do wall squats. Yeah. And that gets real. You know, it's not like impact. It's like steady burn.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, that is why I've always had an aversion to exercise.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll never make my kid do wall squats.
No? Tell me why that's worse.
Because I can't do it myself.
Yeah, but he'll have like solid, you know, solid thighs, be able to squat a lot.
I don't know. I feel like that's just going to come to us.
We're just going to be blessed with
discipline skills.
I could see myself like lashing out if I don't have a plan, you know, like yelling or
Oh, there's going to be yelling.
Yeah.
You have it good, though, because you have a son. It's a little bit different.
I don't want to do too much yelling. I personally feel like it's very seldom is it constructive to yell. Like the people that I do see like yelling very constantly, I feel like it's not being able to control myself. When I yell, I'm mad that I yelled because I'm not conveying anything like that they can receive. Like if you yell at me right now and you're like trying to train me on something, I'm not going to hear that. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to, you know, recede. You know, I like my brain just turns off when someone's angry with me. And so my hope is that
communication.
Yeah. In more of a neutral setting, you know, like it's not your fault. It's not you. It's the choice you made. Kind of thing, you know, like separating, like you are not a bad kid. You just did something stupid, you know? So
I agree.
I like the wall squats.
I don't know. I think communication's great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get it in their head before they screw up, that's cool.
Well, even after, like explaining the situation, like if they stole my car and took it to a party, which I don't even want to think about.
Oh, Lord.
But like, imagine that.
No, I'm not even going to touch the teenage years, bro. I'm not going to, there's nothing, I don't know what I'd do. Like, let me just deal with the toddler first.
Yeah.
Kid steals your car, what would you do?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You steal their toys.
Ugh.
You steal their girl. You know what I'm saying? You steal my car.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like, I think the wife has something of like an eye for an eye premise. Her being a teacher, she like if one of her students goes and bullies another kid,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like some amount of public shaming is necessary there. You know, like if you're going to stand in front of a class and be like, you got tiny eyeballs or you're chubby, you know, then I feel like a good teacher, you know, like does something comparable. But
So you're going to bring your kid to a giant crowd and just start making
I'm
fun
going
of
to
them?
take him to some random school, random class and start roasting him. Yeah. But yeah, that like there has to be a balance in it, you know, like you steal a car. What is the appropriate thing? It's the lack of a car, you know, like, so you steal the car, then you're I don't know.
What about timeouts?
I feel like there's a right way to do timeouts. I don't think I ever learned from that. Like when I'd get punished, I didn't like sit there and ponder what got me into this situation. I was just waiting to get out, you know, like I was just like, what can I do to distract myself from the fact that I'm stuck, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know about timeouts.
What about chores?
Oh, chores.
I mean, I know it's a completely different topic, but I feel like it's on the line.
Chores is a punishment?
Mm.
Gotta do extra dishes if you steal the car?
Yeah.
I think the way the wife's family did it is there were all of these expected things. You do the dishes, you help clean the table, yada, yada. But there were some things that were extra effort that you could make a little money for.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't pay the kid for every little thing or else they feel like, oh, this is all for free. Like, ideally, every person in a family feels like they have a responsibility to contribute to the household, you know? And so, like, if the kid's like, give me money to do my dishes, it's like you're raising a you know? You're raising a spoiled little dude. So.
Yeah, my parents never really made me do chores.
Really? Not at all?
Mm-mm. I would help out here and there.
Yeah.
Like very minimal.
I think I'm the same way. I'd like to think I wasn't, but like I got my work ethic after I left the house.
Like I didn't do chores. My parents never made me mow the lawn.
Yeah.
I vacuumed upstairs, but like
Damn.
that was out of fun.
I don't even like admitting this because like it shows how squishy I am, you know? Like maybe, you know, I've improved since, but yeah, my parents didn't make me do anything.
Yeah.
Which was cool at the time. It's like, let's just play video games and chill, you know? But yeah, so there's no standard for us. Our parents didn't make us do anything. And now we're going to turn around and be like, when I was your age.
They made me like clean my room and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
hey, go pick up your toys and stuff.
Yeah. But nothing like past your mess.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a way, I see why. Because it's like my responsibility to clean the house. It's not my kids' responsibility.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility to make sure the lawn's mowed, not their responsibility.
Hmm.
I want them to have a good childhood.
I don't like this because I
But it's a mix.
want them to.
Yeah, no, I'll do both.
Ideally, they would lighten my load.
Like I'm not
You
going
know
to
what
make
I'm
my
saying?
daughter mow the lawn.
I think my kid's gonna want to mow the lawn. Cause like I got a badass lawnmower, I got a zero turn. I like.
Well, you guys
mowing
have a
the
lot
lawn.
of property too.
We do.
And I'm sure that kid's going to grow up on a farm with chickens.
He's gonna be a cowboy.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wouldn't make my daughter mow the lawn, but help help her mom clean.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like she's going to love cooking too.
Oh yeah.
Like Grace is a huge cook. Like we had
I didn't
chili.
know that.
So like we just had chili upstairs. Last night she made burgers on pita bread. It was fire. The night before she made butter chicken. All this
butter
random
chicken.
stuff, but it's all phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that they're going to have
That would be cool.
because I don't I mean,
cooking is an amazing skill.
I'll be the breakfast guy.
Yeah.
Grace will be everything else.
The
Grace
other
is
meals.
phenomenal at cooking.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Maybe I'll take her hunting whenever I learn. Teach her how to gut a bird.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would be so sick if my kids could cook. You know, like it's such a valuable skill because like going to college and you're just eating ramen every day, but then you're like an asset to like your roommates.
True.
You know, like you might make some friends off being able to make a good omelet.
That's the thing too, is my dad's a really good cook. So it's like we're gonna be at their house a lot. She's gonna see that.
Yeah.
Can I help?
Yeah.
My dad's gonna say no.
You gonna mess it up. Oh man, patience with a new kid is impossible because they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like the wife's talking about the Montessori method where you wait all day for them to do something real simple, you know, like them doing a dish. Like not only is it hard for them to do the dish, it's hard to get to the dishes because they're tiny. So you got to give them a little step ladder, and then you got to watch them fumble and break the glass and all that. But I guess like the value there is like the value is it instills self-confidence or something. But yeah, I think I got to work on my own patience to do that because I could see my kid struggling to do something, and my instinct is to step in and do it for them if they're struggling.
Like me at work.
How so?
I'm like my mom. So if, like, I don't know, if we have to give a task to somebody in the office.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'll be like, hey, do this, and they're like, okay. And then like if they don't get to it right away, in my head I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna do it myself.
Yes.
And like, or if they do it and it's like not great, instead of like this is a complete flaw.
Yeah.
Like instead of like sitting down and taking more time to show them how to do it, I just fix it myself and do it myself.
That makes so much sense.
I just
like in the scheme of like we all just need to get things done. It's like you pick up the slack where you see it. But with a kid, it's less about like we're here to do the dishes and more about like you're here to learn to contribute.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's going to slow everybody else down, but it's okay because this is the environment to do it in, I guess. Yeah, because at work, it's like, I want to go home. I want to make money. I don't want you to up my reputation, you know? And so you pick up but I guess in that parenting role, you got to slow everything down and let them mess it up and all that. Because I've seen some of those videos, like recordings of Montessori classes where like the whole class is waiting to go outside, but before they can, little Emma Lou, one of the students, has to set up the dining table with everybody's stuff.
Wait, what?
So like they force a kid, they take turns setting up the dinner table, you know? So one kid like brings out the plates and places the forks where they should be. And obviously they're at it at first, but like they practice for a month and then suddenly they're like little adults doing like normal adult things. And it's very surreal, but it only happens if you let them up forever, you know, and you're patient with them. So
there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Good thing we have YouTube.
Oh man.
And instinct.
I don't think I have instinct.
I think you do.
Baby's gonna be crying. I'm like, cover it. Cover the. All right, it's quiet now.
I know. I keep getting like, obviously we're having kids, so I keep getting videos on my feed of like, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, damn, that's actually a good idea. Save. And so I have all this saved.
Okay.
Of just random
You got
stuff.
this arsenal of child wisdom.
The better way to wrap your baby in a swaddle.
Hell yeah.
I'm just like, cool. I don't even know if I need that. Save.
Yeah.
You have to.
I got rid of all that. And I'm real proud of myself. But I don't have an arsenal of video online wisdom.
But I can show you. Because I know it.
How do you most effectively swaddle a baby?
I forgot. I have to watch the video. But the thing is, Grace also sent me a video of how to get your dogs used to the kid before you come home.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I'm definitely not doing this.
Yeah.
But she said the dude in the video has like a blanket from the hospital. The baby the baby was in it. He puts it in a Ziploc.
Okay.
He gets a diaper, puts it like I don't know if it's hopefully not a used diaper. Puts a diaper in a Ziploc and then puts something else like a t-shirt or something that the baby was wearing.
Yeah.
And then he comes home before the baby comes home and he opens it up and lets the dogs sniff it.
Oh, they're getting familiar with the scent.
And so and then he'll walk towards them, and he expects them to back up and sit. It's weird. I don't know. I'll have to send you the video.
Yeah, I get that. I see that.
It's honestly, it's a decent idea, but I feel like we're going to be so caught up in the moment, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of nervous about the dogs.
We got to, though, because you have 2 dogs. I have 2 indoor dogs. And, man, yeah, my coworker had a dog and a cat, like, messing with each other, and suddenly it started getting into, like, a real tussle, and the kid got all scraped up on the chest and a thing, like, right over the eye. It didn't get into the eye, but that's not going to, like, just not happen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we have to figure out how to...
Well, my dogs, like, unless you come over or, like, somebody new comes over,
Yeah.
like, my little dog will go crazy.
Yeah.
Ozzy's completely chill, but he freaks out when the younger one freaks out.
Sure.
Not at people, but like a being.
He's freaking out. I got freak out.
Yeah, so like that's what they do, and so the biggest fear is like it's not that I'm not afraid that the dogs are gonna like, attack the baby. I'm more afraid that the baby's gonna be walking around, and then Ozzy or Wes is just gonna start running and
they're
smack
sprinting
him.
around. Yeah, just nail them.
But I mean, if people have dogs and they have babies,
They do.
Ozzy's gonna be the chillest. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Grace will be sitting there like laying down, and then he's gonna be right up next to her.
Yeah.
That's how he is. He's just chill. But West, I don't know.
We got the house set up. There's like a door between the middle of our house. So you got living room, kids room, office on one side, and then you got our bedroom, dining room, and kitchen on the other side. And so I think for the first 6 months at least, like,
Keeping a gate up or something.
I think I'm going to keep them separate for the most part. Like, I'll be holding it. The dogs will be right there. That's fine. But I don't think for a long time I'm going to put the kid on the ground at the same level as the dog, you know?
I will whenever we're around. But if we're not around, like, for instance, like...
Ozzy, watch the baby. We'll be back.
But, like, we'll have a gate up all the time.
Yeah.
Probably the first few weeks, keep them downstairs. But we'll see. I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah. I'll definitely play it safe at first. In my perfect world, Hudson is riding my dogs around my property, ideally. In a perfect world.
Because if Wes knocks her down, hurts her, he's going off that back porch. Yeah, 22.
Just put him down right there.
Yeah, he's going to be fed at 22.
I could do it for you. I put down chicken. I can put down anything these days.
Now, I'm not like super stressed about it, but it's still in the back of my mind.
Yeah. And
it rightfully should be.
You got a breed that's seen as a more aggressive type. I've met these dogs and they're real sweet, but
like my parents had a 150-pound Rottweiler when I was born.
That's a lot of Rottweiler.
And with Taylor, he was completely chill.
Yeah.
My mom said he attacked a poodle down the street.
Yeah.
And then after I was born, he had like every time he'd see me, he'd growl.
Oh.
And so, gone.
Yes. Yeah, there's no risk in that.
Gone. I felt bad. That's my dad's dog.
Yeah.
But if that happens with them...
Yeah. You're out, son. You just became a head on a mantle.
A threat.
Would you ever do that? Like with a deer head, but with one of your dog? Why not?
Get him stuffed.
Yeah.
Grace said when Ozzy dies, she's going to get him stuffed and put wheels so she can walk around the house.
Yeah, but the kid could ride him too.
God,
you know?
Hell no.
And then there's no risk. You can leave them alone together and you don't got to worry about it.
I love that dog, but no.
You don't want to see him stuffed.
No.
I get it. I think I'm in the same boat as you.
No, but with a big, like, that's why Ozzy, like, he's a big dog. Like, he's not tall.
Yeah.
But he's a heavy dog. So he can knock down.
Yeah.
I mean, he can knock down me if he was running full speed.
Ripped little dude.
Like, if he hits me in the back of the knee, I'm falling.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
we'll see. He's got traps.
He does.
How old is he?
He's about to turn 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Dear God, I remember seeing that dog for the first time when he was little.
Yeah, I know. He's been to 6 states.
Oh,
yeah.
That dog's seen some.
He has.
Is he fixed?
No.
Hell yeah.
Heart murmur. He can't.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Does it go the other way? Like if he tries to have kids, there's just as much risk?
Yeah.
Gets too excited?
No, we were going to potentially breed him.
Yeah.
Because I want another puppy. Like, I was like, I really want another one.
Yeah.
So, like, let's have him have puppies and we can keep one.
Yeah.
and then they told us he had a heart murmur, and then the breeder who sold him to us didn't disclose. I don't know if any of his other dogs have it, but like that's how most of the time that's how it's like genetic. So it's like that's probably why
if the parent has it.
Yeah, and so he was like, "Hey, we can breed him," and I'm like, "Dude, he has a heart murmur." He goes, "Okay, yeah, we can still breed him if you want to," and I'm like,
That's
"No,
bad.
that's
Bad
going
breeder.
to get another owner a dog with heart murmur, dude."
Yeah.
And so yeah, we just never fixed him, but we'll never have puppies with him.
That's fair.
But he loves to hump the pillows, man.
Hell yeah.
It's bad.
He's still enjoying himself.
He doesn't hump a lot. It's specific pillows, like the body pillow, like the one for Grace.
Yeah.
If I went upstairs right now and pulled that thing out, he would be. If it was from me to the garage door, he starts dry hump in the air. Wow. Grace.
Just the side of it.
Grace was sleeping with it, and he was in the bed, and she was faced the other way, but you know how like wraps around.
Yeah.
And so it was wrapped around. And I came around the corner, and all I see is Grace on her phone, and I see Ozzy he's under the blankets.
Yeah.
All you see is
Just bouncing.
all you see is his little hips going up and down. I'm like, Grace, and she's like, "Oh, Ozzy, what the?"
Bark. That's what's in his head.
I was like, Ozzy, what the?
That pillow's his bitch.
And he's sitting there breathing heavy, just like, what?
You still have that pillow?
I think we ended up just tossing it.
Mm.
It wasn't even firm enough anyway.
I hate the body pillow.
Yeah, she stopped using. She didn't even use it.
It's replaced me.
But like when she was using it though, and Ozzy wasn't in the bed, like it didn't do anything.
Oh really?
Like I don't think it was thick enough. Like I think the one she got was too soft.
I think the main thing is it's trying to prevent you from sleeping on your back.
Yeah,
I think that's.
but
the
she
main
sleeps on
goal.
her side.
Gotcha.
And she snores, man.
Hell yeah.
She's gonna hate that I said that, but she snores.
It's just the kid snoring
And I'm like this.
out of her.
I have to put my hand on her shoulder and be like, Grace. And she's like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, you're snoring. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you
I've
are.
been awake this whole time. Did you ever have a dog die when you were young?
Yeah.
Because that's something I wonder. Like, for a lot of people, that's their first experience with death.
Storm and Norman.
Tell me about Storm and Norman.
English Bulldog.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old I was when we had him.
Were you?
I mean, I remember being young.
16.
No.
10.
He died when I was in 5th grade.
That sounds like.
But we had him in Alaska.
Okay.
So he came all the way down.
Yeah.
I can't remember how old I was though when we got him.
Were you sad?
Oh my God, dude. I remember my mom told me she was taking him and I was on the couch, face buried, crying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you guys bury him?
No, his ashes are on the shelf in my parents' house.
Gotcha.
And then Penny died. But I was older though.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like affected.
few years ago.
Yeah, I wasn't like affected like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
When Ozzy was sick though, like when he had to get surgery, dude, I was in the hospital. I had snot and tears coming down my face because it was different. Like,
Well, that's your first dog.
well, it's my first dog,
You know?
but like with Penny,
Yeah.
that was old age.
Yeah.
Norman, old
You
age.
expected it.
Yeah, but with him, he wasn't eating for a week.
Right.
Actually, I think it was a week and a half.
Yeah.
And he was having diarrhea all over the house. And I was like, this dude, he's too young. Like
Yeah.
in my head, that's all I'm thinking. Obviously, people who like don't have dogs won't understand that. But I was like, he's way too young. We knew he was sick with his heart murmur, and like the doctor told us he was only going to live for a year to 2 years. And so we had that mindset in the first place, like, hey, he has a heart murmur, high conditions for passing away early.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 5 years. That whole situation with the stomach, he has flipping, what is it called?
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
Does he really?
Yes, he has
Hell
irritable
yeah.
bowel syndrome.
That's
So
great.
he wasn't eating because his stomach was upset.
Yeah.
And so we took him into the vet, which, sorry to say this, but veterinarians, because they were like, hey, he's going to die here,
Yeah.
or you can get surgery.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, what is it? And they're like, we don't know. There's something popping up on the x-ray. They were like, it's going to be $6,000.
Wee.
And they're like, you can take out a credit card if you want to take out a loan.
Whoa.
Or you guys can pay for it. And I'm like, but they're like, he's not going to make it past tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and Grace is like, we have to pay it. We have to pay it. Thankfully, at the time, I was making decent money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, we'll pay it.
Whoa.
They go in there and they do surgery.
You
Noth-
paid $6,000.
Yeah, nothing in his stomach.
Oh my.
There wasn't a single thing in his stomach. And it was because of the infection.
You guys love that dog.
Oh my God, yeah.
I have had Ebu which was my first dog for 4 or 5 years, I would not drop half that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have limits with my dogs.
Oh,
And
my dad told me not to pay it. He was like, hey,
Yeah.
he was like, buddy, he said,
yeah.
don't do it.
I'm curious if that number, like your top number that you'd pay for a dog, is going to change with the kid.
Oh,
You know
no,
what I
I'll
mean?
never do that again.
Yeah.
Never do it again. It was, yeah, but that's the thing is like knowing what I know now about him, like because the same thing happened again.
Yeah.
He didn't eat for a week.
Yeah.
He was pooping or he was throwing up water. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't eating anything. And I was like, Grace, we can't afford to pay $5,000. This is in Tucson. And I was like, we can't afford to pay $5,000.
Yeah.
We took him to the vet and they're like, there's something in his stomach or there was, I can't remember what they said. They said, we don't know what it is. We can go in there and look and do surgery. It's going to be $5,000. And I'm like, because we can't insure him because he's a bully. And since he has a heart murmur, no insurance companies will pay for it. Which most insurance companies, like for dogs, I think it's like $1 million in coverage for like $10 a month. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do it.
Because of the breed.
Yeah, and so Ozzy wasn't eating for a week, and we're like, we're just going to take him home, and we'll comfort him and give him the best life possible.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting on, we ended up taking like rotations. So Grace would be home watching him. We'd go to work and come back. And I was like, Grace, I called Grace because she was at work, and I'm like, hey, he's sitting in the closet like shivering right now. I was like, you might want to come home. And so she flies home.
I don't like it.
We're both in the closet bawling our eyes out, like crying like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I think it's best if I sleep on the couch with him tonight just in case anything happens. And she was like, okay. Well, we left food in his bowl.
Yeah.
Like shredded chicken, eggs. Like, cause that's, if your dog is ever not eating food, if you get shredded chicken, eggs, they'll eat that
you
shit.
can incentivize.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there and I fell asleep with him on the couch. And all of a sudden I wake up at 3 a.m. and this walking, I'm like, oh, he's going back to the closet. He stops at his food bowl and just starts scarfing down food.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, I'm tired of shit. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And I look, I'm like, oh my God.
He's like, the plan worked.
Dude, I was
it
like,
took a week, but I finally got the good.
You know, Ozzy, his stomach was like this.
Yeah.
You could see his every
ribs.
single rib. And I jump up. I ran in the room. I was like, Grace, wake the fuck up. She's like, what's happening? I'm like, he's eating his food. And I was like, she was like, oh my God. So she jumps up. We're both like laughing and like super excited, like, holy shit. And then like 2 days later or a day later, he poops out a piece of toy.
Hell yeah.
It's a red toy. It's like this big. It's like a chunk. Grace was like, he hasn't had that toy in 6 months. I was like, that is what caused all of this. Is that toy plus
$5,000 toy
plus his IBS.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it's gonna suck when that time comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
We lost a dog like I think a year ago. And it was a subtle situation like that where like there was no thing. She just turned a year old. She's one of our livestock guardian dogs. Her name was Uma.
Wait, what? You had another dog?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So we have 2 Great Pyrenees that guard our chickens. And a year ago, I had Obi, who I think was maybe a year and a half, and then Uma, who was getting close to a year.
Oh, I met Uma.
You met Uma. And we got her fixed. And we bring her home, and she's acting pitiful like Obi was afterwards because they're drugged up. You know, they just got their stuff cut off. It sucks. And as the night went on, she just got more and more pitiful. And then at like 10 o'clock, I hear kind of panting where she's like exhaling but not really inhaling. And so I'm sitting next to her and I'm just like, yeah, she's probably just hurting real bad. But like a 20-minute period between her starting to kind of pant and whine, and then she was gone. Like just the eyes kind of just froze up and just like totally still and all that. And she was just coming home from getting fixed, you know?
Wait, what?
Like she was almost a year old. I don't think we slept that night. You know, I'm just like, we're just sitting there on the ground holding her and she's not moving and all that. But yeah, the unexpected element, dude.
Oh my gosh.
I wrote
they say
like
what caused it? I'm assuming the surgery.
Yeah, it was the surgery. She had some sort of disposition, like some sort of issue beforehand that put her slightly higher at risk. But standard practice that I've been told since is to keep a dog that's spayed overnight. for most places. They didn't do that.
Mm.
She was in heat, and the risk of internal bleeding goes up when a dog is in heat and you get them spayed. So they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us it was riskier, and they didn't keep her overnight. And so at the time, we didn't hold it against them. At this point, them.
Veterinarians, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, but I've gotten a dog fixed since then, and they did everything right. They kept her overnight. But yeah, that loss, man. Like, I've lost people before, but that was particularly hard just because that's the closest thing you have to a kid.
Well, you raised it,
right?
And what's also sucks. This is the other thing that killed me in the hospital.
Yeah.
Is the fact that dogs have the brain of a 3-year-old.
Oh, sure.
And so they legitimately have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's all.
You're in their head seeing how confused they are.
Which in reality, they're not humans. They don't think like us. But at the same time,
you love them like a human.
Yeah,
almost,
but you also don't know, and so you're just sitting there in your head thinking of it as your quote unquote child.
Yeah. Which
Ozzy is like a flipping human, dude. That dude's.
Yeah.
It's weird how he reacts. Pit bulls are all like that.
Sure.
They're very smart dogs. And so I was that's all I was going through my head is he's in pain. He doesn't know what's going on. It's the fact that he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what made me just lose it.
Yeah. So you think about that loss,
And when I called Grace, because she wasn't with me at the hospital, I rushed to the hospital or the ER. And I called her, and as soon as I got Grace on the phone, I just flipping lost it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't control that. Doctor was walking in, I was like, just give me a minute. Yeah, but once he started eating food, I was after that surgery, by the way, because they had to do legit surgery on he still has a scar on his stomach. They the after of that surgery was the absolute worst. He was covered in a white paste. He was shooting. He couldn't control his stomach, so he was shooting out diarrhea in my car.
Hell yeah,
that was terrible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's good now.
And so now we're going to take those experiences, and inevitably our kids are going to go through that. Isn't that crazy? The dogs we have right now, our kids will have a relationship with, and our kids will see those dogs pass away.
Yeah. Well, lucky enough for us is, I don't know what the lifespan is of your dogs, but our kids aren't going to be old enough to understand truly what's going on.
You think?
I don't think so.
I think at minimum, they're going to experience the routine of the day where they wake up and at some point the dog licks them and, they do a little rough. And then there's going to be a day where that doesn't happen. Yeah. And then the next day it doesn't happen.
But after Norman passed away.
Yeah.
I remember he passed away and I was
Mm.
sad. But then after that, it's blur. I don't remember any of it.
Sure.
Because I think kids' minds are so fast paced. They're thinking, they're going, their attention span isn't super long.
Yeah.
Danica.
They got things to do.
Well, Danica, we rescued, quote unquote, a bird that was in my parents' driveway. And the bird, I guess, passed away. And she was all upset. And so that happened.
Yeah.
She was crying, bawling her eyes out. But then, the next day, it was fine. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
There was no, they are connected.
It's new toy.
But it's not the same thing.
Right.
But I don't think our kids are going to be old enough. Now, if you go into the 10 years old where they really are starting to develop, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, my dogs are, 1 and 2. So
Ozzy
conceivably they'll be 8 or 9 when, and then we'll get other dogs. And so inevitably our kids are going to experience death through our dogs, through our pets and all that.
That mofo West up there, he's going to live till he's 25, dude.
Yeah.
That dog's going to live forever. He's the bane of my existence.
Yeah, it's the punks that live the longest.
It's the mutts, man.
Yeah. Too hardy.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be sad for everybody. Now, Grace told me, she was before we even found out she was pregnant, she was like, if Ozzy passes, I'm going to lose it. She's like, we need to have a kid so I can focus on something else. But now we have a kid or about to have a kid, and I'm like, you're still going to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but something happens when you have a creature to live for, and right now it's dogs, in terms of the closest thing to a kid. But I don't know.
I feel like
the family unit is very helpful in terms of like dealing with loss.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, because your instincts kick in, and you can't. At least the father shouldn't show emotion like as much as the mom.
You
if that
think?
makes any sense? Like, I don't know.
You got to be strong.
Like
I guess.
the only 2 times I've seen my dad cry is when my uncle died and when my grandma died. And my brother, my uncle, and my grandpa.
Now I've seen my dad cry.
Like he was never emotional.
Yeah.
But then those times is like for me because I remember when my brother died, he was knocking on my door, like smacking my door, and I opened it and bawling his eyes out. Oh my gosh, that makes me tear up right now.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I've seen him like truly get emotional, and that's like a core memory. And I'm like, I've never seen him like that. That's when I knew something was wrong.
So do you feel that way, that you got to be as strong as possible, break as little as possible? As a dad, are you going to try to resist?
I feel as though men have a responsibility to be the foundation of the house, like the solid rock of the house.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying you can't be emotional. Like at certain situations, like if my daughter's at a play and it makes me tear up, it's gonna make me tear up.
Sounds like some energy.
If something bad happens, like somebody in our family passes away, which I know it's inevitable. Someone like our parents are gonna die one day.
Nah.
I'm gonna try. Like that's my responsibility to be the one. Like if they're crying about a situation, like I want to be the one that's like, even though if I'm feeling emotional, like hold that shit in and like be their foundation. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to be seen as weak, because I don't think being emotional is weak.
I feel like.
But I want them to see me as that rock.
My parents were that, and in some ways I really regret that they weren't like more vulnerable, because like they were always strong all the time, and so it always felt like everything was fine. And so then like when like real life happened to me, I was like, wait, it's not supposed to be like this. Everything's supposed to be chill, you know? And so I think there's a time to be strong and all that, but I don't think giving away, you know, when you are broken lessens you in their eyes necessarily. Like the time to be strong is like when you got to defend them, you know?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, all I'm saying is my kid is going to see me cry a lot.
It's situational.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on, like, if they're going through something rough and it makes you emotional, like, I don't know, something happens at school and they got bullied. I'm not going to sit there and cry. Like, I'm going to be that rock for them. But if my dad passed away, I'm going to be losing my Like, that's just how it's going to be. But, like, seeing people sick, stuff like that, if I get emotional, I get emotional.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not going to, no, I don't cry for nothing.
I'm a man and men don't cry.
But if I have a son, being that person that I want him to model needs to be somebody who's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, show emotions when it's the proper time, but also be strong for like for your family and stuff. Like
I'm just hearing that Mulan song.
I don't know.
In my head now.
Like if the whole family is upset about something, like something happens, and everybody is like super down, Grace obviously is going to comfort the kids. My goal or my job is to also be the solid figure. Because that's what we are in their lives. We're going to, even though it's, you know, sons are more.
Keep talking. Keep going.
No, but like, shut the
it's like this.
I don't know. I feel like when you have
mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
I don't know.
Don't be too strong, because then your kid will think that like you don't care. You know what I mean?
No.
You gotta.
Again, it's all situational.
Yeah.
But like, you're gonna be the one that they go to when something is hard, and you're gonna be that person.
All right, we're doing a rapid fire round of I'm gonna prevent a situation, and you will either say I cry or I don't cry. Here we go. Kid sprains his ankle.
Don't cry.
Kid loses his dog.
Ooh, I mean, no, I'm not gonna cry.
Kid gets smacked by another kid at school.
Not gonna cry.
Kid loses his elbow. Kid loses the elbow. Just go.
I'm bawling my eyes out.
Fair enough. All right, now you do me. Go.
Whoa, pause.
Do me.
No, keep that in. Kid gets bullied at school.
Cry. Next. Just, what happened?
Kid gets in a car accident.
Yeah, shut up. Come on. Be strong. Walk it off. Yeah. Tell me about this.
You steal your kid's girl. He's upset.
Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
Good Lord.
Yeah. We're going to be great.
Poor kid.
Yeah, it's situational. You're right.
I think so.
What's that nursery looking like?
It's complete.
Is it really?
Yeah, we just have to.
I want to check it out after this.
I just have to hang the baby monitor.
Describe it to me.
It's peach.
Is it really?
You saw it already, I thought.
Oh, was it already peach?
Yeah.
I saw it when there was the crib and the shelf and like something else.
The bookshelf.
Yeah.
And then we put a dresser in there. I hung up a mirror. I hung up, I don't know what the thing's called, where it hangs over the baby's basket.
Oh, yeah. Those spinny things with the dangly things.
I have no idea what the thing's called. If you said the word, I wanted to call it a bassinet, but it's not.
I think it's a bassinet.
No, it's not.
No?
I think the bassinet.
What's a bassinet?
Isn't that what the baby sleeps in?
You might be right.
Yeah. Hey, we're good.
Yeah. So you got a dangly
The dangly thing. We got some stars hanging, a picture frame up.
Nice.
I still got to put my cowboy up.
What's the closet look like?
Shelves with organizers.
Is there in there yet?
Grace put the baby clothes in there.
Hell yeah.
I think it's like sheets and stuff. I don't know. I haven't looked in it.
Tell me about that carpet.
What carpet?
There's no carpet? You need that carpet, son.
We got
You
a
gotta
rug.
sneak in.
We got a rug.
What's the difference?
The carpet's like it's nailed to the floor.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes. It's a
All
rug.
right, a rug. I was just thinking of it as a carpet.
But I gotta hang up the cowboy.
It's a mobile carpet.
I gotta hang up the cowboy.
Tell me about the cowboy. Look at this guy. Little mustache.
Don't break that cowboy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Does she have a cowboy hat yet?
Not yet.
Hudson
She better
does.
like westerns.
Well, then you need to get her a cowboy hat and a mini javelina skull.
I'm just gonna keep that in her room so she can cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandma.
Teach her to not be afraid of javelinas.
I remember sleeping at my grandma's house in Alaska.
Okay.
And my grandpa was a deacon, so like he's big in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
If you ask me what a deacon is, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the assistant to a priest or something. But anyways, so he was a deacon, so they're very, very religious.
Yeah.
And so we used to sleep in the basement though. And my mom and dad would sleep in one room, we'd sleep in the other. The room that we would sleep in had it was like I guess it's a statue, but it was just of Jesus Christ's head, and he had blood dripping down his face with the
crown of thorns.
Yeah, the crown of thorns. I just remember seeing
It's
that
just
as a
the
kid.
head, though?
Yeah, just the head. I told my mom to grab it whenever if they move down here, wherever they
Yeah.
go. It's like, keep that for me. That's a
so
core memory.
scary, though.
Yeah, so that's going to be the javelina skull.
My aunt had a full-sized cutout of Zoolander in her basement, and so that was my Jesus. I couldn't even go down there, yo. It was terrifying.
Yeah. Is
the-
your nursery complete?
I'd say so. Yeah, we
Well, yeah, I've seen pictures.
we bought what you saw was almost complete because we had a really couch.
Yeah.
What little breastfeeding couchy thing? I don't know, like a nursing couch, a nursing
about a chair?
Yeah,
Yeah, the glider.
the glider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we bought a incredibly glider off Amazon for like $150, and we sat in it, and she was immediately just like,
Pissed.
"Oh, this doesn't work." Like I'd taken an hour to build it. I was like, "Look how great this is." She sat in it. She's like, "It's not gonna work." I'm like, "Fuck." So we returned that, and then we dropped $500 on a nice glider. And dear God,
That's nice.
oh, dude, I want to sleep in it, but you can't sleep in it because you're not supposed to sleep when
I
you're
know.
holding the baby.
You see, my dad said that to me,
Yeah.
or my mom said that. Hey, you can't sleep with the baby. Grace is like, you're not gonna be sleeping in here. And I'm like, okay. My dad's like, man, when you were a kid,
All the time.
he said I had a lazy boy.
That makes so much
He
sense.
said I had a lazy boy. You'd fall asleep in my
That
arms
says a
every
lot
single
about
night.
you.
I remember that lazy boy too.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Yeah, we got this like cream one. It leans back like all the good ones, and It's so comfy. Like the material feels silky but sturdy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Probably the most expensive thing
ours
in
isn't
that
that
room.
comfortable.
You gotta get a comfy one,
Well,
bro.
it's already in there.
Yeah, so is ours.
Yeah.
You gonna be? She is gonna be in that seat.
No, she loves it.
Oh, well, great. That's all.
I'm
you
just
need.
saying for me, which I'm more important.
That's true. You gonna
False.
be feeding with those titties.
Yeah. What
are
what are you
male's
gonna
tits
do?
even
No,
for,
what
bro?
are you gonna do when the baby you're sitting there
Yeah.
and it starts going for your nipple?
Oh man. Well, what's that one movie with Robert De Niro and
That's my fitness.
Meet the Fockers?
That's my fitness goal.
Have you seen Meet the Fockers?
No.
Robert De Niro puts on a fake breast for when the mom isn't there, so that the kid feels comforted.
Nah.
So maybe I'll look into that.
That's my fitness goal though. Is if my
Big
baby
ass titties
goes for my boob,
You know it's big enough.
I know I'm way.
You gotta slow
I'm out
down.
of shape. I'm out of shape.
Either you're out of shape or you're too big.
Yeah.
You know. Like if they start like sucking on an ab, you know your abs are too defined.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's the goal. I mean, I know they're going to be taking pictures in the hospital room.
Yeah.
See, did they tell you about that?
Yeah, you want to be shirtless and you want to look great in your photos.
Yeah, but like if they're taking pictures of skin to skin,
Right.
I want my kid to know me as
You want to be
chiseled.
shiny and chiseled.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some oil on before I go.
Hell
in
yeah,
there.
brother. You gotta look good for that baby.
No, it's gonna be fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
What weirds me out is like you get the nursery ready way ahead of time, and then surprise, they're not in the nursery for like 6 months.
Yeah.
They're in the bedroom with you.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there.
Well, Grace's sister's
It's
baby.
an illusion.
Her sister's baby has this little like I don't know what the toy's called, but you sit in it and like they can walk and it rolls.
I know what you're talking about.
And so that's why I see that thing and I'm like, danger, danger, danger.
Why?
Because our house is not baby proofed yet. And so
yeah, stairs, I guess, is a fair.
Stairs is a big one because
Yeah.
we have that incline that goes like
It's
90
incredibly
degrees.
steep.
So that that gate we have up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna like get a piece that drill it into the wall.
Yeah.
So it's impossible
absolutely.
for that thing to fall over. And the baby's not gonna be tall enough to flip over that thing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna raise it to where obviously it can't. But that plus we have to get little rubber door table things so it doesn't smack its head on the table.
Yeah,
Plus
you gotta
get a lot.
I don't
man.
have outlet protectors.
Outlet protectors. We still gotta
All of
get.
my outlets are like I don't have covers on them.
Yeah, but they're too young right now. They're
I
not walking
guess.
around yet. We
yeah,
still have
but you're
time.
holding them. They're reaching out and shit.
Yeah, we got time. The biggest one I think is the two things my parents had was magnets. So it's like a little they keep in every drawer. So
Yeah.
it goes so they're the drawers that are like which they didn't have these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was when Sam and Danica were young. But it's like a magnet block and each door has a little thing behind it and so you have to like put it over the little door and it opens up the drawers.
Oh, they can't turn it otherwise.
No, so like under your stove, you have
Yeah.
like little cabinets that open.
Yeah.
So underneath, wherever the door is, so let's say it opens like this, there's a little magnet here, so you have to put the magnet over it for it to open.
Huh.
So they have those. We got to get rubber stoppers,
Yeah.
outlet covers, and also something for the stove too. Like a stove, you can get a plastic piece that kind of comes out like this, so they can't put their hand up. Blocks their hands from going up there.
I want as many days in the hospital as I can get.
You got 3.
Is that it? Is that the max?
I think Grace told me it's 2 or 3. Depends on if they have a C-section. If they have a
I hate
C-section,
that.
it's like 4.
I feel like they should just keep you in there for like a week.
Yeah, you can if you
Just
want to pay
monitor
for it.
that baby.
You want to pay for it?
Monitor the mama.
You
no,
want to pay for it?
I got good insurance, homie.
Yeah, but they're not
I'm
paying for more than
fucking covered,
4
bro.
days.
Unless I get injured or something. You know what I'm saying? We just keep the room.
Yeah, let's just stay in here for a week.
The baby broke my finger.
Grace was like, "Hey, do you think we could bring the Roku here?" And I was like, "I'm sure it's fine." Like
You totally can. 100%.
the lady at the dang hospital told us that she's had multiple husbands bring their PS5 in and plug it up to the TV.
I wouldn't recommend that, but you totally
Yeah, but that's
could.
the thing. If your wife is in labor for 48
You gotta
hours,
get on GTA, bro.
Oh man, I still have to pack my daddy bag.
Yeah, that's like a running joke with the show at this point.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna do
Well,
it.
Grace has hers in the car,
Yeah.
so we're ready to go.
You need yourself a blanket. Those
Yeah.
hospital rooms are cold, bro.
Well, hers is packed. That's the only thing that matters. But
Need
Yeah.
that charger, need that blanket, and that's it. That's all you need.
pillows.
Pillows.
I'm thinking about bringing an air up mattress
Yeah.
because she showed us the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
I like a firm thing though, so I might
Pause.
actually dig
What are
that.
we doing?
I like a firm, veiny mattress. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'll mind it. I like them couches.
Oh my God.
You got the couch of a goddess.
Nah, it's not gonna happen though. I don't know. I'm like you though. I can sleep on anything. Do you remember whenever I went to? Do you remember when I came to visit you though, when you were in Chattanooga and I slept on the concrete floor?
No.
Whenever Remy came down.
What, at my apartment or what?
It was when you had 3 roommates or 4 roommates.
I have zero recollection of you sleeping over. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this was like when I hadn't seen you in so long.
Yeah, those floors weren't comfy.
No, Remy was like, I'm not coming down unless I can sleep on a mattress.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll sleep on the floor. Not knowing that it was a concrete floor underneath that carpet. That was terrible.
Nice. Yeah,
And,
so
dude,
hospital couch will be fine.
I slept on the hospital floor with no air mattress. I think it was just carpet.
Yeah.
Whenever my uncle was passing
This
away.
is an upgrade.
Well, he was passing away, and I slept on the floor next to his bed.
Hell yeah.
And I woke up, and he was gone. But, like, my dad and his sister slept on the bed.
Yeah.
My sister slept on the couch, and I was on the flipping floor. Yeah.
Then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You got no worries.
It's a weird night, man.
When are you going to give your kid a phone?
No.
Huh?
Flip phone, man.
Are you really, though? Are you going to allow your kid to be judged and scorned by their classmates?
I haven't honestly, like, thought about it that far ahead.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my kid to be, like, obsessed with their phone.
Yeah.
My goal is to do enough with my kid to where they don't feel like they have to have one 24/7.
Yeah, but like it does not matter what the parent does. Like that part of a kid is created by his friends.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that sucks too, is like this generation is so technology driven that like my little brother and sister did not have the same childhood as us. And they never will. Like their friend groups, that's all over text, Xbox.
Most of it's online.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we were kids, we would go and camp out in the middle of flipping woods next to your parents' house.
When I was your age.
But like it's so different.
So my coworker has his kids on smartwatches, cellular enabled smartwatches. They don't have phones. So to their friends, like they still have a hip device, you know, they're connected, they can text, they can call, they can get around, but they're not on Instagram. And I just moved myself over to that, and I think that's what I'm going to stick with the kids, you know? Like, it keeps them from being ostracized by their friends. They're not losers, but they also don't have to waste their lives online.
It's also $1,000 for an iPhone.
It's a lot, but it's, like, as needed as a car these days in terms of, like, basic necessities. Like,
but
phones
then think
are required.
about how far behind your kid's going to be without one.
How so?
Like, technology-wise. Like,
who cares?
Dude, that's the next generation.
Yeah. I don't like this next generation.
I don't even want to think that far. Someone was talking to me, like I had a customer or something. They were talking about, like, yeah, one's about to go off to college, and I'm like, oh, brother, I can't even think about that.
Yeah, that is wild.
It turned ideas in my head. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to drop her off at college one day. One day she's gonna be married. Because I'm thinking in my head when I see my daughter, I see Grace's face. Because obviously,
oh really?
Grace is the mom.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I cannot imagine her marrying somebody else. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to meet her husband one day.
Yeah.
And I'm not upset about it, but I'm like, oh, somebody, it better be somebody good.
I think the first time...
like, dating?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's the difference between me and you right now, is you're having a son.
I think I'm going to be the exact same way, but about...
No, you're not.
I do. Like, the girl's going to come over, and I'm going to show her my shotgun collection. Like, if you ever hurt my baby boy, I will kill you.
His heart's my heart.
I was his first love.
We'll keep on walking down the boulevard. Got no directions, we've been lost from the start.